If you finish the main story in Diablo 4 and you're looking to unlock World 3, the next step is going to be completing the Cathedral of Light dungeon. In today's video, I'm going to be giving you a guide on how to make your way through this dungeon without dying, as well as just give you guys some general tips. So without further ado, let's just get right into the video. Whether you're on a hardcore character trying to first try this dungeon so you don't have to make a new character, or you just don't want any surprises going into it, here's some information that you need to know before you start this dungeon. First up, you unlock this dungeon at around level 45 after you beat the main storyline, but the enemies actually won't scale down with you. So no matter what level you go in at, the enemies are going to be level 50, so just be prepared for that, and probably don't do this dungeon before level 50 if you're by yourself. It will just make your life so much easier. Next up, there's actually 2 bosses in this dungeon, so be prepared to fight 2 bosses. I'm going to go through each boss later on in this video, so if you need help with either of those bosses, make sure you don't miss that part. And lastly, and this is especially important for hardcore players, be sure to craft the death elixir before you go in, because you can die very easily in this dungeon if you get caught off guard or you're not paying attention. So it's better just to have that extra safeguard and just craft one before you go in, and the dungeon usually only takes about 10 to 15 minutes, so you're gonna have plenty of time to get through this dungeon before your elixir runs out. Very quickly before we go into the dungeon, I wanted to touch on my build very fast. So I'm a solo rogue on my hardcore character running this, and the abilities I'm running are Puncture, Twisting Blades, Dash, Shadow Step, Concealment, and Shadow Imbuement. I have a video on this channel of my full build, so if you want to copy that, be sure to check that video out, and let's just roll into the dungeon. So going into the first boss fight of this dungeon is going to be the High Council, and this boss can get really messy if you don't really know what to expect, so make sure you're being careful going into this. There's going to be 4 different members of the council. There's going to be the Physician, the Inquisitor, the Devoted Champion, and the Commander, and all 4 of these different enemies are going to be doing different things throughout the fight. So let's just go through those really quick. Starting off with the Physician, they can res other members if you kill them first. So make sure you kill the Physician first, because that's really annoying. Next up is the Inquisitor, and basically what he does is he teleports around and does a bunch of lightning damage to you. He's probably the second most dangerous enemy in this fight, so it's just something to keep in mind. Next up we have the Devoted Champion, and he doesn't really do anything that's special from what I've seen. He just kind of does basic melee attacks, so that's all there can really be said about him. And then last up we have the Commander. This is the big dude, and he just moves around really slow and attacks really slow. So it's kind of easy to dodge, but just make sure he doesn't hit you, because it does a lot of damage. It hurts a lot. So to summarize here, the kill order I would go with is kill the Physician first. You basically have to. It's like you have to. There's no other way around it. And then kill the Commander last. If I had to choose between the Inquisitor and the Champion, I would say probably kill the Inquisitor second, because he's the second most dangerous enemy in this fight, in my opinion. The last thing you really got to look out for in this fight is as you kill the different council members, they turn into ghosts, and they're going to keep casting their abilities at a reduced damage rate. So that's just something to keep an eye out for, and make sure you're not panicking when that happens. If this fight sounds really chaotic, that's because it is. But if you know what to expect, this fight isn't really that bad, and you shouldn't panic too much. So just keep all that stuff in mind while you're doing this fight, and you should be fine. And then once you kill these guys, it's going to open a portal to the next zone, which will inevitably lead you to the next boss. The last part of this dungeon is going to be the Curator fight, and he has like 3 different main attacks that you need to look out for as this fight goes on. The first one is going to be that he spawns skeletons throughout the fight, and what these skeletons do aside from being a nuisance is they'll also have little sperm cells that chase you around like the spirits, and you just gotta kind of run around and not let them hit you for a few seconds, and then they'll despawn. The next attack he does is probably going to be the one that's most likely to kill you throughout this fight, and what he does is he has cones that go out in front of him, and you have probably a second to dodge these. So if you have a movement ability, make sure you're using this, because if it hits you, it does probably 3/4 damage to your health, and you obviously don't want that to happen. That being said, later on in this fight, there's a variant of that where he does it 3 times very fast. So what he'll do is he'll do it once, and then he'll teleport, he'll do it again in a different direction, and then he'll teleport and he'll do it again in another direction. And he does that all very fast. You have little to no time to react to that, so you got to make sure you have movement abilities or you're really paying attention or have defensives so that you don't get hit by that more than once, or else you're gonna die. The last main attack that you have to worry about is one that I didn't have to worry about when I was fighting him because I killed him so quickly. But what he'll do is he'll put bone walls down, and after about 20 seconds they're gonna blow up and do a bunch of damage to you. So once you get to about 15 seconds, you're gonna notice that they start lighting up green, and that's kind of your cue to get to the other side of the room as far away from these bone walls as you can, because otherwise they'll kill you. So just get as far away from you can, they'll do little to no damage, and then you're just good to go. Aside from that, the other minor attack that he has is like these little spinning circles on the ground that will do damage to you. So it's just something to keep in mind while you're dodging all his other attacks, to be careful for those things, because if you're inside them for a prolonged period of time, they can kill you very fast. Aside from those attacks, there's not really much else you have to worry about with them. This fight is mostly just dodging the cone attack and then going back and hitting him a bunch until he's dead. So just make sure you're dodging that main attack and you'll be good to go for the rest of this fight. And that's kind of it for your Capstone dungeon. Outside of those two main boss fights, there's not really a whole lot that's crazy. It's mostly just a normal dungeon. The one thing I will say about that though is make sure you're going at your own pace, one that you can handle, one that your class can handle, especially if you're not used to World Tier 2. If you've been playing on World Tier 1 the whole time, it might be a bit of a jump going into this dungeon. But aside from that, not really a whole lot to talk about outside of those two boss fights. Once you're done all that, you can go and activate your World Tier 3 in the main city, and you should be good to go. Hopefully this helped you guys. Drop a sub if it did, and I will see you guys in the next video.